I was just tired. Fatigue kicked in, and I'd done so much throughout the fight. I probably got too happy and too greedy. My first time ever being knocked out. Heartbreaking. But it's boxing. You can't go out in the ring without getting wet. You can't go in the ring without getting punched. And the little things I can improve on. And I'm comfortable, and I'm still confident that if we rematch, I'd be just as confident. I'd be even more confident because I know what I was able to do up until that point. Some of his fans were spitting and saying that Leigh Wood killed him. I was told when I was being brought out on the fucking thing. So listen, boxing's a dangerous game. Fighters don't get the respect, and people can say what they want, but at that point when you're in the ring and something like that happens, you're naked to the world. And you're at your most vulnerable. If I don't like you, you kind of know I don't like you, and that's why I think it's best. If someone didn't like me and being faked in my face, it would annoy me more. But
I will say, out of all of the fighters that I've met, why are the Irish the most friendliest and welcoming? What is it? Because
I don't know. But we are
is that just is that a natural thing? Because I've spoke to lots and lots of people, but the Irish, there's just something about them. What is it?
It's just nice to be nice.
It is nice to be nice. We need to put that out, and a couple of other people could learn from this. But anyway, October Red Boxing. I'm very honoured because it's the first time you've been a guest on the channel. The lovely Mick Conlan. Mick, welcome.
Cheers, thank you. Pleasure to be on the channel.
We're here at Wasserman today for obviously your stablemate, your friend, Harlem Eubank, who I know that you've been to several of his fights because I've seen you pop up. Can't miss that smile of yours from anywhere. How do you get on with working in that stable? What's it like being in that stable with obviously your happy coach? He always looks like he's up to something. What is it with Adam Booth and that sneaky smile of his?
No, he's just a good coach and a friend also, you know what I mean? So it's not just a coach-boxer relationship, it's a friend all around. So it's a great gym. Josh Kelly also, a teammate who's on the show as well. So I'm here to support the boys, and I love supporting them. It's a great gym.
And we talk about that support, and what I'm going to do is go back to your match. I was there, I watched it live. What a beautiful boxing match that was. One of them that up to that point we said was fight of the year. Two warriors going at it. I was there at the point, obviously the final round, when it was lights out for yourself, gasping, thinking what the hell's going on there. A different perspective. You're in the ring, you're the fighter. Talk us through that last round.
I was just tired. Fatigue kicked in. And I'd done so much throughout the fight. I probably got too happy and too greedy. It was too easy at times, and that probably led me to throw a bit too much punches instead of conserving things. But it all played down to kind of the last two rounds. We were both tired. The 11th round 100% was a slip, although a punch landed, so it has to be counted as a knockdown. So I kind of give Leigh a second win, and I came out and finished strong in the 12th and got the job done. My first time ever being knocked out. Heartbreaking. But it's boxing. You can't go out in the ring without getting wet. You can't go in the ring without getting punched, and these things happen. So I've took it. I know up until that point, the scoring on the cards was a lot closer than what I thought, and what the majority of people from outside thought. But I thought I had done way more than enough. I had punched ahead of him for that amount of time, but he had the ending blow, and he got the win. So fair play to him.
What I will say, and I do think it was you that was winning the fight and winning it clearly and comfortably. Somebody that exudes confidence, somebody that is no stranger to boxing. Your amateur pedigree, like you said, you've won every medal possible. You're a warrior at heart, somebody that started boxing when they were 7 years old. So going into that match, like you said, looking at the scorecards, thinking, hold on a minute, I think they were a bit, it wasn't as wide or close as you said it was. How do you then overcome that to move forward? Because obviously, it's a loss on your record. If that knockout wasn't there, we know what would have happened. But then how do you move forward from that?
I'm very happy with moving forward. I have no problem. I know the little mistakes which I did make and the little things I can improve on. And I'm comfortable, and I'm still confident that if we rematch, I'd be just as confident. I'd be even more confident because I know what I was able to do up until that point. There was no way he could adapt to what I was doing, and I was showing the same thing. Maybe, as I said, I got a little bit too comfortable and throwing a bit too much because it was too easy. One thing I'll give Leigh is he's resilient and he's tough, and he showed that. The people talk about how hard of a puncher he is. I don't think it was necessarily how hard of a puncher he was. I think it was more me being fatigued than him being a big puncher, because I shifted his shots throughout the fight, and I wasn't hurt once. He was landing as hard as he could body shots, and I was like just walking through them. So I think I'd be more confident going into the rematch.
When you said you get comfortable, what is it that goes through a fighter's mind where you almost like you're saying you start to relax in the fight? What happens to make a fighter start to get comfortable? And this is a question I've always wanted to know, because you hear fighters say, yeah, I got a bit comfortable. What is that switch in the boxing match that makes you start to sort of drop in performance?
It was just the fact that I was able to land on him so easy and so much, where I just got greedy. So I think that was more so. It's more so my fault than Leigh's kind of doing. Although his resilience is the reason he got to where he was. I think there was 20 more seconds in the first round, it would be over. But as I says, and I give him credit for, he's resilient and tough.
So what we saw then, obviously, when we saw the knockout, like I said, everyone's like, what the hell's going on? The silence in there, going from cheers to almost like a deathly silence. How was that for you? Because I think you mentioned that you was awake, because we was like, oh my God, is this guy dead? What has happened?
It was obviously made it a lot worse than what it was with paramedics and stuff, and even the TV. But as soon as I was on the floor, I was awake. I would say if it was in the if it had happened in the ring and he had knocked me in the ring, it would have just been the same thing where I would have got upset in the stool and I would have been over kind of, or I probably would have got up. So. It was annoying because it's made it the guy died. The guy died. People were rating he's dead, and then I know I've been told that when I was going out, one thing I'll give credit to Leigh for how he behaved after, but some of his fans were spitting and saying that Leigh Wood killed him. I was told when I was being brought out and on the fucking thing, so that's disgraceful. You know what I mean? It's disgusting. I know my father was not happy at all. But listen, it's boxing. These things happen. I was awake on the ground. I was trying to get the mask out the mask off because I had my gum shield in, and the paramedics didn't have a clue. So it happens.
The sport which is beautiful for us to watch, but often brutal for you guys, and it's not even with obviously getting punched how many times in the head. It's the political side, behind the ropes, the other stuff that happens, like you said, fans making comments like that, not showing the fighters the respect that they deserve, because like you said, one punch and it could be lights out for forever, or you end up permanently brain damaged.
Listen, boxing's a dangerous game. Fighters don't get the respect, and people can say what they want, but at that point when you're in the ring and something like that happens, you're naked to the world, and you're at your most vulnerable and exposed, and you get idiots coming out and saying he's dead, or talking shit, haha, laughing, putting up things, doing things. I don't pay much attention to it, but you do see it, so you can't help but go, that's a bit cunty. I'd beat the fuck out of you if you say that to my face. You know what I mean? So these are the things which is wrong with boxing. A lot of boxing fans, casual fans, mostly casual kind of fans, or people who just dislike people, will talk shit, and they'll say horrible things without knowing what it is like to be in that position, or to even experience an inch of what anybody else in that position has experienced. So it's small-minded. There's nothing we can do to change it, because they'll just keep doing it. Even under this interview, people will talk shit, but fuck it, it is what it is.
Something that you've shown from the beginning, like I said, even with the Olympics, you're not somebody that will just take something lying down. You're someone that has remained true to themselves, confident in who you are as a person, which is refreshing, for us to see in boxing, because often the sport can start to mould the fighter, but we don't see that with you.
Listen, I've always said who I am, being who I am. I like to be honest when I talk, and I don't like to hide my emotions. If I don't like you, you kind of know I don't like you, and that's why I think it's best. If someone didn't like me and being faked in my face, it would annoy me more. But the fact that if someone knows, someone doesn't like you, I can take that. I mean, good man, no problem. But no, these same guys probably talking shit. If they seen you in person, they would probably ask for a photo. So it's crazy. It is crazy, yeah.
Nathan Gorman mentioned something like that to me. He says once that there was a fighter that was there was someone that was trolling him online, and he didn't realise it was them. But then obviously they came up to him, "Oh, Nathan, can I have a picture?" Blah blah blah, and he took a selfie with them. And then when he scrolled through their tweets, they were actually slagging him off and calling him a fat so and so.
It's wild. It's disgusting. But that's boxing. The fans at times, not all of them, but a lot of them are very fickle and very insecure in themselves, and like to, laugh at another man's demise who's trying to do things which they will never do. So you gotta take it.
Well, something that you've definitely taught me is that resilience. People are going to say what they're going to say anyway, but it's down to you as a person to actually say, am I going to let this affect me? And on that note, you coming back out again, seeing you fight again, you mentioned it, but I'm going to let you talk to us about it on here.
Yeah, we're back out August 6th. Opponents yet to be named. There is an opponent, but it hasn't been named yet. So I put it up the other day, but it was August 6th, and I see like people boxing Twitter being matchmakers and saying who I should fight, but the fight's already done, so they were all wrong. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm feeling good back in the gym. About 13 weeks to go now, so plenty of time. I haven't come back in the camp too heavy. I'm in a good shape, and I'm looking forward to it. There's so much like when fighters lose, someone gets the blame, and usually coaches get the blame. If anything, it's made my relationship with Adam even stronger, because everything we've worked on and done showed out there for a lot of it. We've made some silly mistakes, yes, but it's made my relationship even stronger with him because we have a great understanding of each other, and we know where we went wrong.
You talk about that and you say like silly mistakes, but like to the untrained eye, say for example me, the observer, we wouldn't know what that is. Do you think like sometimes because you're in it, this is your coach, you can be very, very critical on yourself to get those improvements?
Yes, but you have to be super critical. Like my father was my coach for most of my life, and he's the national coach for Ireland for the Olympic team. My brother was a professional boxer, and now has been my manager for the last number of years. And those two people have been close to me my whole life, but those two people will be the most critical. So if I send them sparring and I thought I've done good, they will say, no, you've done shit, you've done this wrong, you've done that wrong, you've done this wrong. And it hurts, but it's true. And I'd rather them be true with me than lie to me and say you're being good. So yeah, I like to be with people who are truthful to me, and that's one thing I've made sure to start when I went with Adam, and he even said to me, I won't bullshit, I won't sugarcoat anything. If you're not performing well, I'll tell you. If you're performing well, I'll tell you. So that's the way I like it, and I think you need to have people like that around you.
I really like that, and that is a really positive note to end on as we're going to be starting the presser soon. Honestly, I'm really appreciative of your time, a fighter that I have total respect for, and it's not just because of your fighting skill, it's just the way you are as a person, the fact that you're comfortable and confident with being yourself. It's really, really refreshing.
Well, you're the first interview I've done since I've lost, and I'll be honest, I wasn't going to do any, but you're the first one I've done, so it's no problem. As you started chatting earlier, I happily do it. It was sound. I like the vibe. It was a good vibe, so I appreciate it.
And I'm definitely going to get behind you. Where can we watch the fight in August? Where can we see that?
So it's going to be on ESPN with Top Rank along with me, but it could be on Sky, it could be on another broadcast, but we're unsure yet where the UK broadcast is going to land. But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a Conlan boxing show with Top Rank, and it's going to be good.
Thank you so much for your time. We're looking forward to seeing you back out again October Red Boxing with the lovely Mick Conlan.
Cheers, thank you.
Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.